Sports Cards. Get at it.
Hey, Talofa Lava. Leotawa Dr. John Peterson here. TE2 Sports Cards coming at you live and direct from Minneapolis, Minnesota. At the card table here, thought we'd do a quick 47 card PSA grade reveal before the flood of videos go up on YouTube for the coverage of the National. Always my favorite time of year in terms of YouTube, watching folks at the National, and looking forward to seeing lots of videos and coverage of the show over the next 4 or 5 days. Some people have already started, so if you haven't had a chance to check out what's on YouTube, I know Jeff Wilson, Sports Card Investor, and Mike, Baseball Collector, and Pac-Man have all been on the show floor as of yesterday. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, please do. We've got a PSA order here, 47 total cards. Arrived at PSA on 6/12/24, so that was back in June. It was returned to me yesterday. I picked it up at FedEx, so it's about 5 weeks, a little over 5 weeks. So pretty good turnaround time, I would say. Total cost was $807.44, and it was part of the 1980 to present June special, which was $15.99 per card. I've been into the habit lately of pretty much only submitting one order per month based on a special. The most recent order that I sent in was from the July special, which was on vintage. So I'll wait till August here to see what the new special is, and hopefully be able to get some cards in for like 15, 16, 17 bucks. It's definitely worth it because over many cards, that $2, $3, $4, $5 difference in grading that you get from the special makes a big difference. So so as usual, I'll show the cards or show the card. I'll give you an estimated cost, what I think the value is, and then estimated profit after grading fee, after eBay fees, sales tax, and grading fee. So overall, it was a decent order. I don't think it was my best order, certainly not as good as the last one I had. I didn't hit the gem rate that I was hoping for. 50% gem rate is what I'm generally looking for. But I did hit a couple good cards and a couple resubs, Kraken resubs that turned out okay. So, all right, well, let's get started here. First card, we've got 2020 base mosaic Anthony Edwards in a mint 9. I'd say the value of this card is about $20. I pulled it out of a pack, so it's really kind of hard to estimate, quote unquote, the cost. After eBay fees and grading fees, this will be a push. So probably 0 on this one. Same card, 2020 Anthony Edwards mosaic base. The base really does sell pretty well. Sometimes the 9s sell more quickly than the 10s, I've found, if you price them right. So if I price this for about 20, 25 bucks, it'll sell. Won't really make any money off of it. I was hoping for 10s on these, but that's okay. It's not a huge loss. Another base, a 9. This is the 2020 Donruss Optic Edwards. I had some Optic that I'd purchased from a lot, so I pulled this out of a pack. Thought it looked pretty good. Centering wise, it looks real solid. I thought maybe top to bottom it was a little bit off on the back, and then on the front too, you can see there's a little bit of a difference there. So, but I thought it was in the threshold. I'm kind of surprised it didn't get a 10. I have this at $25 for value. Estimated profit on this will probably be about $5. We've got a Purple Shock Donruss Optic Edwards. This came back in a 9. This is a little higher value card. I'd say it's a little right around $65 or so after fees and after grading fees. eBay fees and grading fees, we're looking at maybe $35 profit on this card. I didn't think this was going to be a 10. It's obviously off left to right, and you can see that that's on the back too. So, but still a nice card. The Purple Shocks are good cards. This one was a 10, which I was happy about. These silvers, 2020 Mosaic silvers, are hard to pull. They're not as frequent as some of the other color that you see in the 2020 Mosaic product. And so to have the National Pride in the silver, I thought was really nice. I would say this is probably, these cards have they went up, they went way up in May, and then they dipped after the Timberwolves didn't make the playoff or didn't make the finals, and then they've kind of risen a little bit. So I've got this at about 150. I'd say after fees, maybe $100 profit on this. The National Pride cards do sell really well. I would say they sell as well as the base image and variation, or not variation, but the base version. So that's a good little win there. Here's the 2020 Mosaic, Silver Mosaic, or Mosaic is what they call it, Mosaic. I got this at 125, 130. Also very hard to pull. Less prevalent than the other colors that you're going to see, like the pink camos and the yellow reactive, red reactive and stuff. So I think this is probably maybe $90 profit after everything's all said and done. So it's a nice win there. Next one is Red Wave. I was kind of hoping for a 10, obviously, on this. I pre-grade and screen all my cards, so anything that's ultra modern, I'm hoping to get a 10 on. So I must have missed something with this. I don't know, maybe it's a centering issue. Looks pretty clean to me. A 9 in this is about a $50 card, so we're looking at about 25 bucks. Love the Red Wave cards. They're super cool. They come out of the 2020 Panini Mosaic Asia T-Mall boxes. So got a 9 on that. Did score a 10 on the Red Wave in the National Pride, which I was excited about. This is probably, I don't know, I would say maybe, what do we got here on this one? Maybe about $100. About $100 in a 10, I would say, somewhere around there. You know, not a super high value card, but I mean, can hang on to it. If I don't get $100 for it, I can always hang on to it until the season starts and see how things go from there. So you're looking at about, I don't know, maybe $50, $55 profit on that. Same card, also in a 10, $55 profit. So that's 2 of the Mosaic National Prides that came back as 10s. Which is good. Next one I'm pretty happy about. I love these pink camo 2020 Mosaic cards. I got this at 125. It is the base, the true rookie as they call it. So after fees, maybe 85 bucks profit. That's if I don't sell it at a card show. So I'll be pretty solid on this though. I mean, the Edwards true rookies definitely sell the best. National Pride sells second best, and then the NBA debuts from Mosaic sell third best. Same card, came back in an 8. Must have missed something with this. Not sure what it was. I'm not going to try and find out now. Maybe down here a little bit, the corner. Still a great card. I don't know, maybe crack it out and submit it to SGC, see what happens with that. Probably come back as a 9 though, so it's not really, probably not worth it. We got the pink camo. This is the NBA debut. I came back as an 8. We're looking at probably $25, maybe a $5 profit on this. So anything that comes back as an 8, you're looking just to try and get back to even, you know, with what you paid for the grading. Here's another pink camo. This came back as a 10. I've got this at about $100, so we're looking at about 50, 60 bucks in terms of profit on this. These are a little harder to move, as I mentioned. They don't move quite as quickly as the NBA debut and the true rookies, as they call them. But still, a pink camo and a 10 is a nice card. Estimated profit, 55 bucks. I've got a green. This is probably one of the more prevalent Mosaic colors you're going to see out there. This came back as a 9, which is too bad because I thought it was a 10. You know, I've got a whole mess of these Mosaic cards because I've bought a lot of the product. I really have enjoyed it. I think I'm going to send some of the other ones in and see what I get. I don't know. I mean, I thought this was a 10. So I got this at 30 bucks, $10 profit. Next one, Elevate Green Mosaic in a PSA 10. This is a $50 card. Not worth quite as much as the other versions, the base, rookie, the true rookie, the NBA debut, and the National Pride, but still a good card. I'd say this is about a, I don't know, $50 card, so $25 profit. So pretty small. A lot of small wins in this order. Not a lot of huge big wins. A couple that I did okay on. So this is the Elevate Mosaic. This one's worth a little bit more. This one's closer to $100 value. Again, I pulled it out of a pack, so it's hard to estimate the cost. 20% for grading or eBay fees and taxes, and then another $15-16 for grading. So probably about $65 profit on this, although you have to figure in the cost of the box, which is kind of hard to do for this video. But so not a $65 profit necessarily, but gives you a sense of kind of what we'll get after the fees. So this is a rookie scripts of Maxey. Nice pull. I was really hoping to get a 10 on this. I was kind of concerned it was going to get a 9. A little bit down here. You never know how these are going to go, but this got a 10, which is exciting. He's a really great player, had a great season last year, plays on a great team. I estimate the value at $275 to $300. So after fees, after grading fees, probably about $200 to $225 profit. Sweet card though, really turned out good. I think he's keyed up to have a really big season. I think the question with the Philadelphia 76ers is, can Embiid stay healthy for the duration of a full season? So, great card. Great win on that. Another good win. This is a Gold Wave LeBron from 2020 Mosaic. This card, given that it's, pretty far into LeBron's career, you wouldn't think this is worth a ton, but value on this is about $100 in a 10. I think these gold waves just look great. 2020 Mosaic, I think, is just such a great product. I'd say it's about a $65 profit after fees. So, yeah, cool card. I got a Halliburton in the gold wave. This came back as a 10 too. A little undervalued in my opinion. This is the National Pride. I think the comps were around $75. So I think he's a really nice player. They made it to they made it pretty far in the playoffs. I thought they did really well. Did they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals? I think they got beat by the Celtics, right? So he's a real good player. Wisconsin kid, went to Oshkosh West and or Oshkosh North, I think it was. So yeah, maybe $45-50 profit after it's all said and done. I won't be too much of in a hurry to sell that one. So I did have some vintage stuff, or maybe not vintage, just after vintage, after 1980, obviously because of the order. I had cracked open a long time ago some 82 tops and pulled this LT, so I figured I'd get it graded. Really not worth very much. $45 is the value on this, so probably about $20 profit. That's all said and done. Still a cool card though. Love to get that in a 10 someday. Anthony Munoz rookie card. I thought this card looked really clean. This is the second time I've had it graded. Cracked it out, got an 8 again, so I guess it's an 8. I don't know if it's the chipping, if there's chipping down on the bottom or what's going on, but these cards are so hard to find centered. Like it's basically in a pack, 1 out of every 5 to 7 cards is centered. So to find a centered version of this that's clean, that has pretty solid, clean, crisp corners is really hard. I don't know what else PSA is expecting out of 82 tops. If this is an 8, I'd be curious to see what a 9 and a 10 look like. All right, next one, 1988 Topps Bo Jackson. Ripped a bunch of 1988 Topps football over the years and had this sitting around, so I figured I'd send it in. Got a 9 on it, which I'd put, oh, sorry, I didn't say the Munoz. The Munoz is probably about, maybe a push. I might lose a little money on this since I got graded it twice. So it'd be a little bit of a loss, $5. The bow and the PSA 9s, those are going for about $75 to $80, $90. After it's all said and done, maybe about a $50 profit on this card. Love to get a 10 in one of those someday, but not easy to do. This is a Barry Sanders. This was an 89 score, or is an 89 score. Came back as an 8, I think, which is a pretty fair grade. I want to say I had this graded by CSG or CGC at some point. Could be wrong about that, but, you know, decent card in an 8. Let's see, $60, so about a $35 profit on this. I mean, actually, it's a loss when you consider the cost of the box, but still not too bad. PSA 9, Barry Sanders rookie card. So this is closer to about $100. So we're looking at 65 on the profit side. Got another Sanders rookie card. This is an 8. It's about, again, 65 in terms of the profit. Or 35, excuse me, not 65. There's a little bit of a line. Maybe it's on that one, or is it on this one? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, okay, this one got a 9. There's a little mark there. They must have missed that. Good. Glad they missed it. Got an Aikman. This is a 9. There's a backstory to these score 89 cards, but I'm going to not share it right now. I can share it to you if you're interested. Put a message in my Instagram DM, TE2 Sports Cards, and I can share with you the backstory to this Aikman and the 3 Barry Sanders cards. Aikman, about $25 profit. These are the 2 cards that I'm most disappointed in the order. I thought these were really nice. Obviously, the centering is off top to bottom and left to right a little bit, but the rest of the card is super nice. These were CSG 8.5s. So to drop a whole grade and a half from PSA, from CGC or CSG to PSA was really disappointing. I was hoping at least for an 8. I thought maybe an 8.5. I didn't think it was a 9. So I got some really tough grades on those. This card, $75 at the most. So you're looking at about $45 on that. Here's another one of the same cards, 81 Topps Magic Johnson. And I found these in a 5,000 count box. So like, what did I pay for them? Probably 20, $25, not too much. So definitely not a loss, but you know, in an 8, 8.5, it goes up to a couple $100. So just disappointed that I didn't do better on those. This one was good. I had bought this on PWCC, I think a couple years ago. It was in a CSG slab, and it was a 9. And I thought I'd cross it over. I did pay a little more for it than I wanted to. I think I paid about $280 for it. And in a PSA 9, it's a $300 card. You can see it's a little off-centered on the back, but otherwise, other than that fisheye there, nice card. I don't know, maybe after grading, fees and everything, $225. So probably a little bit of a loss, $50 to $75 loss. But it's nice to have this kind of card in your case at shows, just because you got to have some decent Jordan, I think. I don't know. I think you got to have a little bit of Jordan every time you go out. So this will be nice to have in the case. Oh, these came from the Amory collection. Probably the last few cards from that collection that are going to be graded. I was hoping for 9s on this. It's 89 Fleer. This is the partially obscured version, so you can kind of see Marlboro, but it's partially blacked out. I thought this was a 9, came back as an 8. Really trying to think, like, what does a 9 and a 10 in this card look like? I mean, sometimes PSA standards for junk wax is just, I mean, so high. I mean, I've got 56 Topps cards that are 8s that don't look as nice as this. So it just doesn't make sense to me. It seems like they've got different grading standards for different eras of cards. In a 10, this is a $300 card. You know, I didn't expect necessarily a 10, but I thought at least a 9. The Johnsons, I'm not complaining, just, you know, explaining what my thinking is on that. I think maybe profit 55, 60 bucks on each of these 2 cards, which isn't too bad considering what I pay for them. $2, really nothing. 1990 Leaf, Ken Griffey Jr. got a 9 in this. This is a tough one. I mean, this card used to be a couple years ago $150 to $200 card. It's now dropped down to about $100. So in a 9, what are you looking at? Maybe $20 card. So really it's a push after fees. Not making any money, not losing any money. I thought it looked pretty clean. I mean, the centering looks good. Everything looks pretty even. I don't know. A little bit of a tougher grader this time, I think. I thought that was a 10. 93 Donruss Diamond King Griffey Jr. I've had a number of these graded. I've had a couple come back as 10s. I've had 1 or 2 come back as 9s. This one is a 9, obviously. A little surprised that this one came back. Thought the registration on this one was really good. I didn't see anything on the front, maybe kind of a little whitening, but I've gotten 10s on stuff that looks worse than that. And then on the back, I don't know, I'm not really seeing what the issue is that makes this a 9, maybe a tiny bit down there. So what's this worth? Oh, probably 50 bucks. Oh, $25 profit on that. Again, the same card, but the registration on this one wasn't quite as nice. I thought this one looked a little better to me than this one. So I thought this was a 10, and I thought this was the 9, but both came back as 9s. In a 10, this is a $350 to $400 card. So thinking may send this to SGC. May crack these open and send them to SGC. I've never really done a crack and resubmit to SGC. But I think if these come back in a 9.5 or a 10 with SGC, it would be worth it. Not so much the Leaf. But these, yes. Because these carry a little higher value. I love that Griffey card. It's one of my all-time favorite Griffey cards. Okay, this card. So this has got a good backstory to it. This is the 2001 Fleer Platinum. Pujols Musial winning combinations in blue. Now, here's the thing with there's a red version, where this is in red, which is numbered. And then there's the blue version, which is not numbered. But the blue are far more rare than the red, even though they're not numbered, which doesn't really make sense. I pulled this card in 2001 when I bought this product. Or no, not 2001. I think I bought some. Well, if I had this that long? Maybe I pulled it a couple of years ago when I bought some Fleer Platinum product. That might be the case. Anyway, I had submitted this once already to PSA. Well, this is the 3rd time I've submitted it. First, it went to CSG, and it got a 9.5. All right, so I figured if it's a 9.5, let me crack it out, send it to PSA, get it out of the CSG slab. Came back as an 8. I was like, shit, that sucks. So I cracked it out because I was like, what is wrong with this card? So I cracked it out. When I cracked it out, I looked and there was a huge fingerprint smudge that was on the card on Pujols' shoulder that I don't remember having on there. I think it came from PSA. So cracked it out, wiped it down, resubmitted it, and got a 9. This card hasn't comped. I can't find a comp for this card. The blue, I can't. The red I can find. I think the red in the 9 sells for like 300 or so. And I only saw one of the blues listed. It was a PSA 10 and they had it listed for $5,000. So I think I got this in a 9. The difference between an 8 and a 9 is pretty significant. I've got this, let's see here. Make sure I get this right. I think I got this at $12.50. So it's a pretty big card. Hard to sell at $12.50, I think. You got to find the right buyer. Somebody who's really a Pujols super collector maybe. But I think I can get $750 or $1,000 for this. Might take a little while. But yeah, PSA 9. The blues are really rare. And yeah. No serial number. Go figure. So that was a win. All right, next one, I bought a lot of Panini Select hanger boxes a while back. 2020, man, did really good on that. Pulled a ton of great cards. If you're not familiar, 2020 Select hanger boxes are fantastic. They're just fantastic. So you can find them, pick them up. They're a little more spendy in terms of the hanger box cost usually, but they turn out really good in terms of cards you get. Pulled this die cut light blue prism of Burrow. Got a 10 on this, which I think is great. Super sweet card, field level. This one is $175 to $200 card. His stuff is pretty hot still. After fees, maybe make $125, not including the cost of the box. So great card, good win on that one. Also a part of that lot, I pulled this swatch, Prism Red swatch of Herbert. Wasn't expecting a 10. Got a 9 on it. Probably about a $45 profit. I think he'll have a good season. Might take a couple years from him and Harbaugh. He and Harbaugh to get in sync, but I think they'll be pretty good. Well, they lost Keenan Allen, if I'm not mistaken, which is too bad. He was a really good receiver. All right, next we've got a Jordan Love die cut blue prism and a PSA 10. About $100 card. The die cuts aren't worth as much as the non-die cut cards, but probably $65, $70 profit on this. His stuff's super hot, so you can tell it's off a little bit left to right, but it was in the threshold, so did okay on that. Die cut blue prism Mahomes from the same product, 2020 Panini Select. I got the Mahomes at about 100 to 125 as well, so you're looking at about 75 in profit. And I think this is the Disco, if I'm not mistaken, so little higher premium on that. Did well in this Burrow. This is a silver. I think this is club level. Let me just get my paperwork here. I got this at 200, so about $150 profit on this. Nice card. So did well on that one. Coming down the end here. Got another Herbert. This is a die cut orange, PSA 9. That's about a $50 card, so you're looking at about $25 profit. This is a sweet card. So this, I was super hoping to get this in a 10. This is the first gold out of 10 I've ever pulled. I have had golds before, but I've never pulled a gold out of 10. I was super excited. I don't know a lot about Pittman. I think he's a pretty solid receiver. Has had some good seasons in the last couple of years. Obviously, the quarterback situation in Indy since Homeboy left, number 12, I forget his name off the top of my head. After he left, they've had just a merry-go-round of quarterbacks. So the fact that he's had some 1,000-yard seasons is pretty impressive. I couldn't find a comp on this. I really have no idea. I mean, I thought it could have been initially 500, but I thought that might be high. I don't know, 300, 400. Some of his raw golds out of 10 sell for 100 to 150. So, I don't know. Maybe 200, 300, somewhere in there. Great card, though. Somebody who's a Colts fan, Pittman fan, will pick that up at the right price. Orange die cut, Jefferson, Panini Select, PSA 10. $100 value-wise. Probably $65 profit. This will sell easy. That'll sell at a show. People are gaga over Jefferson up here in the Twin Cities. Die cut neon green, PSA 9. Very cool card. Like how it refracts. Yeah, probably $5 win on this. only worth about 25 bucks in a 9. I was hoping this would get a 10, but came back as a 9. $35 card. Probably make about 10, 15 bucks on this. And then the last card of the order. Not surprised this got a 9. In fact, I'm happy it got a 9. These Cosmic Out of This World cards are sweet. This is 2021 Donruss. Joe Burrow. It had a little nick at the top. Number to 100. So I think 75 to 100 bucks. So might make $50 to $65 off this card. Really cool cards though. I like this set. All right, folks. I didn't total up the value. Really, it's hard to say. The vast majority of these cards, with the exception of the Jordan, were pack pulled. So I always have a hard time evaluating, like, is it a profit? Is it not a profit? Honestly, when you're breaking boxes, you're not beating the box most of the time. So as a net profit, probably not a profit. But I definitely made enough to pay for the order, and we'll be able to cover the cost of the order. And then everything else, will be a little extra that I can plow back into the business. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully this gets some views before the deluge of national coverage starts today, because people are going to be cranking those videos out today and over the next 5 days. So yeah, check it out. If you're not familiar with TE2 Edge Sports Cards, you can check us out on IG at TE2 Edge Sports Cards. And yeah, like and subscribe. Peace out. One love.